Well, there's a few guys there, so why don't we start? This is O'Neill with O'Neill live on, what is this? Oh, Facebook. And today we have a different setting. Look behind me. There's no fire. No, indeed. It used to be fireside chats, but it's 66 degrees outside. I'm not going to do that. We are in our little studio in the mountains of North Georgia. And I'm going to take the time today, I hope you don't mind, kind of describe this little office that we have here and show you, brag if you will, but show you some of the trophies, if you will. They're fiberglass models of some of the fish I've caught and a few things. And each one of them has a story, and I won't go into every one of them, of course. But you might enjoy seeing them and have the realization, if it matters at all, that on Saturday mornings, this is where the radio show emanates. It goes from here to WSB radio in Atlanta, and then it goes worldwide. So we're proud of it. I hope you enjoy the program. There will never will be anything about politics in our show on Saturday mornings. Now, the turkey season opened, before we get around the room, the turkey season opened this past Saturday in Georgia. And in talking with some of the people last Saturday morning, some of the callers, it opens up later. I know our friend from New York, from the Catskill Mountains, John, and he says his season doesn't open until April, and it ends the last of April. It only lasts 1 month. And we can already tell that there's a drop in the population of the eastern wild turkey across his range, which is all the way to Mississippi and Nebraska and all the way up to the Indiana, Ohio, and all up through New England. That's the eastern wild turkey. He's the man, as far as I'm concerned. And the population is down. As a matter of fact, I talked this past week, past few days, with my friend Hal, and he and his son spent the weekend hunting, and he's a good turkey hunter, in North Georgia at a place that they hunt every year. He said he never heard a single gobble, never saw a single bird. The population is down. And before I lead you around the room, and I'm looking forward to doing that, during my recording of a show I did just a few weeks ago, week after next, on April the 3rd, you will, if you tune into the radio show that day, you will hear a conversation, an interview, if you will, that I had with Emily Rushton and Michael Chamberlain. They're both DNR scientists. And we're going to have an opportunity, and you can listen. You can't call in because it's recorded. And we're going to talk about the population of the wild turkey, why it's down, and some things that can be done about it. Okay? We'll do that. Right now, if you're ready, I'm ready to walk around the room. And if it bores you, I'm sorry. If you enjoy watching it and hearing a little bit about it, then I'm flattered. Gail is on the back side of the room over there. Anything going on so far? Okay, if you have questions, criticism, inquiries, or whatever the case might be, send them. Gail will pass them along to me, and I'll answer or respond as best I can. So are you ready? I hope this works out. And it has to stay straight up and down, doesn't it?
I think so, yes.
Okay, hold on tight. Oops. Okay, I almost dropped you. Oh, wait a minute, it's looking at me. Oh, all right. Wait a minute, how do I get it to look at the, I do this.
I guess.
Okay.
There you
Oh, this is not going to work that way. Let me take it out of here. Okay. This is above my desk. This is above my desk. That's my father's flag. He was killed when he was 21. I was 6.
Over the lens. There you go. Okay.
He was killed when I was 6 weeks old. He was 21 years old. He was a fighter pilot in training for the Army Air Corps. He was in Texas, and there you are. Okay, next, it doesn't look like he weighed 12 pounds, but that was, when he was living, that was a 12-pound bonefish. I took him in Islamorada, Florida. Next, over here, that is a whitetail in velvet, which I took with a muzzleloader in South Carolina. Down below is an ultra small rack of a whitetail that I took in Canada after freezing my butt off for 5 days. The first deer that walked by, I shot him. I had to get out of there, man. Okay, right here is Black Powder headquarters. There's a beautiful young lady there. I think I remember her name. She's 22 years old there. And I got to back up here a little bit to show that off. That was a 51-pound red caught in the Banana River. And what makes that so exciting was I saw that fish, or the guide pointed him out to me. He's 51 pounds, or she was 51 pounds, and 54 and a half inches long, and I've never caught one anywhere close to that. I did catch a 40-pounder once. That right there is a crow. Okay. I don't know where I got him.
Fish. Remember Fish?
Oh, a fella gave me that, didn't he? Fish Williams.
Fish Williams.
A guy who used to call the television show years ago. Radio show, and he sent me that. He was a taxidermist, and he sent me that crow. How long ago, honey?
Oh, gosh. 15 years ago at least.
Yeah, more than that probably. But 15 years ago, I'll take. That is my personal record. And let me stop here as I go along. I'm kind of not a trophy guy. But what happened was, back when I used to have some money and the show was doing well a long time ago, Gail and I contributed a lot of money to Jerry's Kids. What's that? MDA? MDS?
Yes, something like that.
Muscular dystrophy? MDA.
Right.
And so the fellow who was connected to that was also the taxidermist that did all the work for Bass Pro Shop. And so he called me one day and he said, "O'Neill, I want to do something for you. Do you need any mounts made?" And I said, "Well, I don't have any." So he said, "I'll make all your personal records for you." Okay. So that is a 15.5-pound hybrid. That is a record. There's my record largemouth, obviously caught on a spinnerbait. These are all fiberglass models. I caught that, there's always a story. I caught that fish at a place called Raccoon Key, which is a freshwater lake. That's Gail sneezing. A freshwater lake on an island off the coast of Georgia. He weighed 12 pounds. I don't know what I'm doing with that teal. In the Keys also, that is a 35-pound 35-pound permit that the guy sent me. And I will hasten to add that all of these fish were returned to the lake or the ocean alive. There's a 4-pound smallmouth caught out of Lake Erie, which I caught on the television show. And this is memorable because that is the first whitetail deer I ever took in Georgia. 1965, I think. 1965. And back then, the limit was 1. So that was an 8-pointer at 1965 in Georgia. That was quite a trophy. Let me go around the room. Okay, there's a bunch of junk. Okay. That was, when we caught it, a 35-pound barracuda. We caught him on the show, and he jumped completely over the boat. I was with Captain Jimmy Johnson, and of course we released him, but that fish jumped, and I have it on tape, jumped at least 20 feet in the air, at least. Now, I won't take you in there, but that right there is Gail's office in there. And I'm not going to go in there. It's scary. It really is. Where is she?
There's a lot of dolls in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of dolls
And
and
they
things.
scare people.
Yeah, they. I can't get him. If I turned it sideways, well, see, that won't work. Uh-oh. Rotate your. Oh, okay. That is a out of Costa Rica. It's no big catch for people down there, but for me it was. That is a 65-inch mahi-mahi, dorado, or dolphin. He was 65 inches long, and he weighed 48 pounds. These are all my personal records. What is this fish right here?
It's rainbow
No.
peacock bass.
Peacock bass out of Venezuela.
I know more than you do.
You sure do. Well, my brain's gone. And boy, this guy did a great job with all the mounts. They're all indeed fiberglass, and he's chasing a piranha. That's Gail Williams. How old were you there, baby?
35.
35 years old. Okay. Why did you put these turtle things here?
Because Hal Milton wanted you to show them your
I go down here.
turkey. I mean your turtle snapping, whatever.
When Milton Crabapple and I went turtle grabbling, those are two of the turtles, shells.
Find the third one. It's over there.
Turtling. Anyway, there you are. That's when he drug out a 34-pounder, gigantic. Ooh. Yeah. All right. Let's go back up. Here's various books and trophies and things of that nature, which don't have anything to do with it. There's the skull of a hog that I took, and you'll see the muzzleloader bullet hole. I had about 10 seconds left of daylight, and he was walking right toward me. And it was recommended by the landowner that if I saw any hogs on the property was to take it. I did. From Black Hawk fly fishing on the Sequoia River, there's a 28-inch rainbow. If I can keep from falling down.
Someone wants to know where you killed the deer in 1965.
1965 deer over there.
I bet that made it.
I was in Monticello, Georgia. That's where everybody went hunting those years. Monticello, outside of Forsyth County. There's a skull of a warthog from Africa. And there is one of my fraternity brothers. Oh, no, it's a hog I killed. A hog I killed in, what was the name of that place? Well, I'll tell you in a minute. Down in, South Georgia. He weighed somewhere between he weighed somewhere between 400 and 500 pounds. And how do I know that? Well, I'm guessing because the scale that I put him on, it pegged out at 400. It wouldn't go any higher.
You used to have on an Emery hat.
Yeah.
What do you do with it?
I don't know where that Emery hat is. I've had that on there. There's from Canada at Carroll Lake, a 45-inch northern pike, munching on a little perch of some kind. Now I go over here. There is it doesn't look as big there, but that was a 75-pound rooster fish. The first one I ever caught, and I caught him in Costa Rica. She, I guess, I don't know. Put back alive. And that's the biggest I've ever caught. I'd never caught one anywhere close to that. 25-pound Jack Crevalle. Caught him on 8-pound test line. It took an hour and 6 minutes to get that critter in. Yes, ma'am.
The lamp. That's actually he didn't make it that way. It just happened to wrap around that lamp real well.
There's the fellow who did the mounts, put 2 walleye on a stump. He was terrific. He really did a wonderful job. And there's 2 walleye from Canada, and they're chasing a perch. How about that? All right, I go over here. That right there is a whitetail from East Georgia. A nice 8-pointer from East Georgia, quite frankly. Honey, you know whose deer that is?
Yours?
No, it's not mine. It's Dan Lee's.
Oh, is it?
I was in the stand with my friend Dan, and he killed this deer, and he had it mounted, and then his wife wouldn't let him put it in his house. So he sent it to me.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Jeff Collier wants to know more about the python. In the picture on the website, a big python that I took, we found it with Milton crabapple. That's Milton. You never can tell what you're going to get when you go off with Milton. And that right there is a squirrel. Where did I get that squirrel?
Fish Williams.
Fish Williams sent me that squirrel, and he's carrying a float. He must be fishing.
Yes.
Oh,
Now,
so-
someone wanted to know.
Okay, let me walk.
About-
I'm through here, I think. So
Let me-
as I walk back, you can tell me what some
Okay, are you going to show
What?
that?
what, honey? I go to show.
Radio show takes place.
Oh, yes. Oh, I owe it. This is great. I want you to take a look at this gear. Now that's where I sit in the show, right there. That chair with a cushion in it. There's the Works radio computer. And there's all the wiring and engineering that went on by Karen Green. And would you look at that mess? That's why if there's something's gone wrong, of course I'm not very smart, if something goes wrong, she engineered this. It goes from up here in North Georgia to WSB, then it goes to Texas, to the Sports Map Radio Network, and then in a couple of months it'll be on the Salem Radio Network, and it'll be worldwide. Look at that mess. Okay, I don't know how she figures that stuff
I hope she's not
out.
watching.
I think she is watching, and I'll probably pay for that, won't I?
Yeah. Why don't you come back here and shoot from that direction, so they get an idea of the whole mess. When I used to do radio, I sat there.
Yes, Gail Williams sat right there when did the radio, and that's what the room looks like, and that's where the radio show emanates from every Saturday morning. And without a bit of shame or modesty, it is the #1 live outdoor-based radio talk show in the world. From this little room,
Somebody said Spaghetti Junction. Yeah.
yeah, that's right. Spaghetti Junction is right. All right, there's all the critters.
Okay. Somebody
there's-
Somebody says that you did not speak of the baseball that's over there.
Oh, okay. Well, there's not much to say about that baseball, but I'll show you. The baseball is an incomplete trophy, I'm sorry to say. It is a baseball with almost signed by almost all of the pitchers, major league pitchers that ever pitched a perfect game. I haven't kept up with it in the last few years. You have to go to shows and ask them for autographs and things like that. I just really don't have time for that. But that's what the baseball is. And is that enough bragging for one show, honey? Huh?
Yeah.
Did you drop something?
No, I was holding.
Oh, you going to show that picture?
I thought this is kind of a neat thing.
Yeah.
This is kind of a sentimental, neat thing. So I'll.
Let me get away from the light.
How's it?
Okay. Okay. All right. This is a. Yes, this is let me turn it. A composite. What do you call this? Shadow box.
Yeah.
A shadow box, and that right there. That's a photo of his name is.
Ricky Robinson. I don't know how.
What is
Is
it?
your name gone? I mean, your brain.
Yes.
Ricky Robinson.
Ricky. I was going Andy. Ricky Robinson. I'm sorry. I'm under some pressure here. That's when he was the photo of the fight going on. He was the 147 or a pound Golden Gloves champion in California when he was that age. And right down there, you'll see a photo of there's Ricky and O'Neill and Gail Williams in the middle. And right there is his belt buckle that he won for being the Golden Gloves champion. And the story is, which to me is very touching, and that is...
I need to hang this back up. It's
Getting heavy?
yeah.
Okay. Anyway, all right, you can leave.
Move the camera.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, he told me, because he sent me that shadow box with the photos and with his belt buckle, if you will, and he told me, I asked him, what's the balance of this story, honey? He
sent it to you just out of the blue.
Yeah, that's right. Just right out of the clear blue sky. Somebody else is watching. Yes, so Ricky said, I asked him about his award, his belt buckle that he won for being the Golden Gloves champion. And he told me, and it was touching, and I'm repeating myself, but nevertheless, so that you can be sure that, and that he said, I don't know why I kept it this long, which was 35, 40 years. He said it must have been so I could give it to you. And so to me, that's a real trophy. It really is. That's a real trophy. Okay, everybody's back on board, I guess. I punched the wrong button. These buttons are close together.
Yes, they are.
And if you push the wrong one, it happens.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Did you, did you suffer through that? Saw everything in the room? There are 3 real trophies.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
David Cargile wanted to know if you got the hog at Ossabaw Island, and the answer is no.
No, I did
I
not
remember
shoot
that.
that hog at Ossabaw Island. I shot that big hog at that fish down in that fish place. What was his name? What was that guy's name? I'll tell you the story. Remember anyway, this guy called me. His name was Ken Hollyoak, and he had hunting and fishing down at his farm down in South Georgia. And I had been there and had done a show. He called me, and I went down and I did another one and took a hog, and we were leaving. This guy's a fish farmer, and we were leaving for the day. We were done. And I look over in this dry pond that had been drained, and this giant hog is walking out of the pond. Oops, I stopped the truck, got my muzzle loader. It was 50 caliber, CVA 50 caliber, one of the gosh, it's 20 years ago, at least. And I got out of the truck, and that big hog just walked right at me, and just like he was on a string. I shot him at 30 yards. And it took me and 5 other guys to put him in the truck. And it was hunting season, South Georgia, 80-something degrees, and I dressed that hog in the back of the truck, in the truck bed. I wouldn't do that now. Anyway, that's where the hog came from. And I weighed him, and like I said, it was between 400 and 500 pounds. He was gigantic. So there you are. That's the same, remember Hogzilla? That's the same farm that Hogzilla came from, and that was 15, 18, 20 years ago. Okay, so there you are. It's turkey season. How was the weekend for you turkey hunting? I bet you're not seeing as many. I got a lot of snapshots and videos of people that did successfully hunt the turkey, the wild turkey this weekend. But what I want you to know, if bear with me for a minute, I had on the show 2 Georgia Department of Natural Resources scientists, and they told me the following, and they urged me to tell you. The early part of the season, especially when you get maybe 3 gobblers to come in. One is going to be the dominant gobbler, and you can tell. Your natural tendency has been, and is, for you to shoot the boss. I learned something from the Georgia DNR about that. the boss is so dominant during the mating season now that the other males, the other gobblers, testosterone levels very well may be so low that if he dies, they may not breed the hens. So I suggest you consider the early part of the season. If you have, quite frankly, quite obviously, the boss in front of you, pass him up. And consider that, because it affects. It could be, if you shoot the boss, that none of the hens will be bred. And that reduces the population.
Is it showing you're still on? Because I've lost it for some reason.
Well, people say they're watching.
Okay.
All right. What else?
Maybe it's just me.
Springtime fishing. I talked about this last Saturday morning on the show, and people think I'm a knucklehead. But first of all, I've had somebody say, evidently all these trophies, this is easy for you. I want to admit to you, without any reservation, I'm no better a fisherman or hunter than you are. But given my profession and given what I needed to do the television shows, I get to go to some really good places with some really good guides and really good other fishermen. So this big room full of trophies, it's nothing special separate from the two of us. We're the same guy. Okay? All right.
The young
Where
man
am
from Alabama got his first turkey this weekend.
Oh, yeah? Good.
Using your techniques.
Oh, well.
That was actually Joe's cousin.
Oh, Joe's cousin got a bird this weekend using my techniques?
Yes.
Well, my techniques are, let's talk about turkey hunting for a minute. No, let's don't. Let's talk about, just slow down, okay? Don't move. Slow down. Call less. And hunt where the turkeys live. I know my friend Hal and his son hunted this weekend, both of them outstanding hunters, but they didn't see or hear a gobbler all weekend. Wonder why? Was it their fault? No, not likely. They were in an area that used to have turkeys, that have had turkeys in the past, but now do not. Sorry. Those of you who may be watching this or plan to watch it later on Facebook, I guess I need to warn you that I dropped the signal there for once. I mashed the wrong button. But anyway, most of you are back. For once. Okay. I got some iced tea.
Bojangles and iced tea, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, Bojangles, sweet tea, and it is wonderful. What's that?
That means it's time to say goodnight, Gracie.
Already?
Yeah, well.
I just got started.
Well, go ahead.
Oh, all right. What do I want to tell you today? Any questions?
You said something about turkeys. People always want to hear about turkeys.
Yes, they do. People do always want to hear about turkeys, and I'm happy to oblige. Again, I'm no better turkey hunter than most of you, but I have been fortunate enough to hunt with some really good turkey hunters. The number one was a fellow by the name of Roscoe Reams, and I hunted with him several times. The first time I ever hunted with Roscoe, he called 3 times. That's all. It was scouted properly, and we went to and we sat behind a big pile of limbs next to a little food plot. It wasn't a food plot; it was just a clearing, and He yelped once, and the gobbler answered. And what I've told this so many times, but it's so interesting. And Roscoe leaned over to me and said, "He's on the limb." We waited. Roscoe waited 10 minutes at least. Yelped again, very softly. The gobble was returned immediately. Roscoe said, without turning his head, "He's on the ground." 10 more minutes. A soft yelp. And Roscoe said, "There he is." And there he was. And we were, quite frankly, it's remarkable because we were doing a television show, and I had a cameraman and a camera and all behind me. And that was my first turkey with Roscoe, and it was marvelous. And quite frankly, isn't that what I just told you an excellent demonstration of why you should get your sons, grandsons, daughters, and granddaughters, and the kid down the street whose dad is not an outdoorsman involved in the outdoors? You build memories that last a lifetime. That memory with Roscoe was at least 30 years ago. And I can assure you, if you'll bear with me, I'll be telling you that story again one day soon. I'll just bet you. So, yes, ma'am.
Listen, I believe his name is, let me go back. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Neil Smith said that they went turkey hunting this weekend.
Okay.
And they heard very few gobbles or yelps, and they kind of attributed that to the wind, which I guess that would have an effect, right?
Yes, my judgment is if the wind is blowing, it makes the gobblers, it makes all of them, the hens too, makes the turkey extra wary because of the motion of the wind, and it catches his attention. Could be. Thank goodness they don't have a good smeller. They don't have a good nose. They don't have a good sense of smell. If they did that, probably we would never kill one. But they are eyesight and hearing, oh boy, they are the best. In my mind, the eastern wild turkey is the number one big game animal in North America. You have to be talented in more ways, practiced in more ways, and there's more involved with the east shooting or harvesting the eastern wild turkey than any other big game in North America. You call, you get a response. You have to make the proper shot. You have to be fully camoed, and you cannot move. Stealth is absolutely necessary. And finally, you're taking him out. You take the gobbler out of what his normal practice is. Normally, he gobbles and you go to him, but you got to talk him into coming to you. This is the number one big game animal in North America. So, okay, anything else right now?
No.
Another sip of tea.
We had that you hit the wrong button, so this is actually in two parts unless Allison or Karen can fix it.
Well, maybe they can.
Yeah.
Okay, I hope
In
so.
other words, there's another part of this, which was actually the best part because you showed the trophy room.
Yeah, that's right. A guy wrote here. He said he has a customer that killed 3 toms this weekend.
Wow.
Well, that happens. I'll tell you what's going to happen in Georgia and other states that house the eastern wild turkey. We're going to have the season and the limit reduced in the next few years because the population is down. And hey, I wouldn't do it now, knowing what I know. But I was with my good friend Roddy about 6 or 8 years ago, and I killed 3 in one day. I killed 3 at once with 3 shots. I shouldn't have, but I didn't know any better. I killed the boss, and the other 2 jumped on him and started pecking and spurring him while he was on the ground. And quite frankly, it made me mad. And I was using a muzzle loader, and I reloaded 2 times and shot the other 2 gobblers. I'm not bragging. Wouldn't do it now.
They were pretty dumb.
Well, yeah, the eastern wild turkey is awfully.
And so were you.
I shouldn't have done it. I didn't know any better. And I'm mute. Surely I shoot one. You'd think if I had time to reload my CVA, that I would not have time to reload my CVA, but I did. They were concentrated on jumping on the other gobbler.
How many years ago was it that the eastern wild turkey was almost extinct? How many years ago?
45 years ago, some substance of the following. The wild turkey in the United States had somewhere in the territory of 40,000 birds in the United States. And this is why I always recommend to you, and I do the same, I always recommend to you that you belong to 2 voluntary wildlife organizations. One is the Wild Turkey Federation, and the other is Quality Deer Management Association. You learn from those people. You learn from their research. You learn about the deer. You learn about the wild turkey. And all the money that we pay and licensing tags and fees and excise taxes all goes to wildlife. If there is no hunting, there'll be no wildlife. If there are no fishermen, there'll be no fish. Have I had it?
Yeah, about 10 minutes ago.
Okay. Thank you for watching. And I'll keep from screwing up next time.
Oh, don't promise that.
Oh, man. I said I will try to keep from screwing up next time.
Okay, try. That's
Okay.
story.
So let me see. I need to leave you with something. Okay. My number 1 favorite movie line.
Oh, gosh.
I, God Woodrow, it was quite a party. I'll see you guys next week.